Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturchio and Chris Gueci.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Mojo Market Report right here on a Football Friday. It is Dave Sturchio, it is Chris Gueci, and it is A5 Anthony behind the glass here at Chop Studios in beautiful downtown Matawan, New Jersey. But you wouldn't think that. We're actually in New York, according to sources, behind us. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well out there. Hope everybody's ready for one final week of regular season football. There's a lot to get into today. We'll break down some of the key matchups and who you can start playing on the Mojo Market. Do it responsibly. Don't go crazy, but get that pen and paper out right now. Take some notes or hit screen record or whatever you got to do. Just make sure you take these notes this week because we're trying to make you money heading into the playoffs. Remember, playoff teams next week. Those are extra games to be played. We were talking about it before. The NBA is going to be absolutely nuts. When
the superstars play in the playoffs, they tend to light up the stat sheet, and you get like an extra, in some cases, an extra 20-something games.
NBA-wise, yeah.
If you go deep, so yeah.
And obviously this...
Can't wait.
We're going to find out our very first... on the Mojo Market, first Super Bowl bonus. We haven't seen it in real time, so we'll find out that in just, I guess, a month from now, which is insane how fast this all went. But there is plenty of football to get into today. So today we start with our Week 18 preview. Now remember, all of these games are staying on course. Nothing's changed. Week 18 will play as scheduled. I know there's a lot of there's voting that will be happening today within the NFL Players Association of how they're going to handle the standings and the seedings. I don't think they've officially canceled the Bills-Bengals game. That's done.
I think they officially did. Yeah,
they canceled that game. Yeah, that's not happening. So both teams will have one less game on their schedule and in the standings. So we're talking about the Bengals and the Bills. We'll actually talk about one of those teams later on. But we start on the local front on a game that kind of matters, but the Jets, for a second, there's rumors like, there might be 8 spots in the playoffs. And then the Jets were like, wait, what? Like, we could be alive? Like,
is that still alive, though?
No, I don't think so.
They put that
No, that's going to be, I can't imagine that actually happens. But the Jets were eliminated last week from playoff contention. There's a lot to dive into with their team in the offseason. But we do know that Mike White will get the start again. He'll be starting against Skylar Thompson, according to all sources. Skylar Thompson for the Miami Dolphins will be going. He gets the nod. So right away, you know there's going to be a little bit of a bump, but you got to be careful because Skylar Thompson against the Jets defense just doesn't seem like a matchup you want to get into.
It does not. The Jets
Especially
defense.
An angry
in the game,
Jets
I would
defense.
say that they both need the game. This game's probably at 1, right? So they're going to go into this game understanding that the Jets are not eliminated.
Jets are eliminated.
They are eliminated.
Yes, the Dolphins are not.
The Dolphins are going to go in, but the Jets still have a ton to play for. Their coach is probably coaching for his job.
I don't think so. You think Sal's going to get fired? No.
Here's the reason why.
I think there's going to be a fall guy. It's going to be their offensive coordinator.
I don't know about that.
There's no way Sal gets fired.
I don't know that they're going to fire LaFleur. I think LaFleur would get scooped up and immediately. I don't think it's his problem that they drafted a quarterback that didn't pan out. LaFleur did come out and say some interesting things where it was like, we kind of regret starting him in his rookie season. He probably needed a year. And that was the first time anybody within the Jets organization admitted that.
How do you not know that in the pre-draft process?
Well,
like when you're scouting these guys.
Well, this is
like, how do you not know that this guy might take a year, but he's going to be good?
This is where there could be some infighting because Robert Saleh, LaFleur, they may have been saying this to each other, and the Jets front
Push
office
comes to
was
shove,
maybe,
GM
was
guy
maybe
comes
kind
in,
of pushing
Woody
the envelope
Johnson,
a little
all
bit
those
and
guys.
saying, hey, we want to start the rookie that we just invested the second pick in, and the fans are clamoring for it, and now Robert Saleh's job could be on the line, so they could be at least saving face. I don't think Robert Saleh coached himself out of a job. What I do think is that there's potential Sean Payton. There may be some guys where you consider firing a guy or
if you know somebody's
moving on
available.
from a guy if you could get the guy that's available that you're after. So that could be a situation. We'll see.
Now remember, the Dolphins have something to play for. If they win, and I believe the Patriots lose, the Dolphins will get into the playoffs. So I think that's their only clinching scenario. I know the Patriots have to lose for sure.
Yeah, the Patriots have to lose.
But I'm not sure if that's it as far as the Dolphins are concerned. But like I said, the Dolphins are playing for something because they are alive.
It's not looking great for the Dolphins.
It ain't. And you know what? That just comes from like just taking your foot off the gas.
Not even taking the foot off the gas. Not Bridgewater. Tua got hurt. That didn't help. But they played awful in that second half of the Packer game, and it was all downhill from there. They didn't get it done. And guess when they didn't get it done? As soon as the weather gets cold, the Dolphins kind of crumble. they're going to have to fix that going forward, just in general.
So
I believe in that offense, but man, it's hard to watch them in December.
So as of right now, it looks to me that the Dolphins being 8-8 are going into this game. If the Patriots lose, they'll be 8-9. They're out. If the Jaguars lose their game, they'll be 8-9. But the winner of that game will be 9-8. So actually, no, that's not true at all. If the Titans win, they'll be 8-9. So the Dolphins need to win and the Patriots need to lose. That seems to be the path in for the Dolphins, and that's definitely doable considering who the Patriots are playing. But the Dolphins, when it comes to the Mojo Market, what you're looking at is their rushing attack. It's been good all year, right? We're all focusing in on the running game. We know McDaniel is a very good coach when it comes to the running game and spreading the ball around as far as that. Then you can take the top off. So the Dolphins still have their offense. It's just a matter of can they produce in this offense against this Jets defense.
I'm going to check right now what they did. What each of the players have done in the as far as against the Jets. So Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle.
The last time they played the Jets. Well, obviously the game was in Miami. This one's going to finish in the Meadowlands.
No, the first one was in New York.
So then the graphic's wrong then. Okay.
I mean, Tyreek Hill 7 for 7, 47, no touchdowns. I think at this point the Jets front secondary hadn't given up a touchdown yet.
So both teams are away. Both New York teams are away this week.
I don't know.
Is that possible? Yeah.
And then Jalen Waddle, 3 catches for 23 yards. So they've played, and
this is
the Jets corners did a really good job against these Miami Dolphin receivers. So I'm going to short the Dolphins. I think the Jets would love nothing more as their season's over than to end the Dolphin season. It's probably, if not their biggest
I think that's on the minds of a lot of teams.
It's in their top 2 rivalries. I'd say the Jets and the Dolphins hate each other. So the Jets are going to come to play in this one. I think so. I think they're going to short the Dolphins receivers at least for a 1-game play. I like them long term, but not. I'm all
for shorting Skylar Thompson. You know what I mean? Like that might be
I think
tough
the Jets
for that
defense
kid.
shows up in this one for sure.
All right, staying on the local front. Got ourselves a doozy. There's been reports already that Brian Daboll's going to rest a couple of his starters, or at least give them a little time to play and then take them out right away. But we're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, who are one win away.
That's a far cry from his attitude before they clinched.
Well, now he knows. Now he's like, well, we got ourselves a playoff game.
We're going to play. It was before they had clinched the playoff spot. They didn't want to take.
No, they clinched it, and then he post game, and then he was like, "No, we'll rest in the offseason."
Yeah, that was when the owners were like, "Hey, what did you say?
Right, can you?
That's not happening.
Can you run that back for a second there, Mr. Dable?" But anyway, the Giants have a chance to make some noise in the NFC East because the Dallas Cowboys play the Washington Commanders. And if the Cowboys win and the Eagles drop their 3rd straight, the Cowboys will win the division. It'll shake up the entire NFC playoff landscape. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. But when it comes to the Mojo Market, on guys you should be interested in this week, the Eagles are in a must-win. Like, they're in a must-win scenario. The Giants are not. So I would say the offense for the Eagles, including the return of Jalen Hurts.
Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts.
Devontae Smith and A.J.
Brown are going to probably eat the Giants' corners alive. The point spread's 14 in this game.
Is it really?
They can't make it high enough, so I expect a ton of Eagles offense early and often
I didn't know the spread was that high.
Yeah. The Giants aren't coming to play here. And it would be cool to see the Eagles get knocked off by the Giants' backups, but it's not going to happen.
Short-term memory, huh, Giants? Huh? Yeah,
it's not going to happen. No,
the Eagles laid down. Boom,
new regime,
out of the playoffs.
There's not even one guy in that building that cares about that.
Owner.
Yeah.
Giants owner was there. They're all there.
I think the Giants owner walked up to Joe Shane and Brian Dable with a handful of money like this and just said, "Do what you guys want." Right? Because they needed major help after the Gettleman debacle.
They did. Oh, my God.
Judge.
Oh, God.
Come on, what are we talking
Joe
about?
Judge, also in the playoffs if the Patriots win. As a whatever role he has over there, I have no idea. But anyway.
He's like a secret keeper. He's like, hey, don't tell anybody all the crazy stuff that happened here, and I'll hire you as something.
Yeah.
Right?
Miles Sanders has quietly had himself a fantastic year, 1,200 yards rushing against this rush defense for the Giants. I think there could be some good gaping holes available for Miles Sanders. And that goes for – I'm curious about this. My only question about this game in particular is Jalen Hurts. Now, he's coming back in a must-win situation. He's got the shoulder thing. So clearly, from what I've read, also from the doctor over at Mojo, right, the sports doc, bro, he's got it. It's all in this area, right? And I'm not saying people target. I'm not saying people target for him. But
Except for Kayvon Thibodeau. He's definitely going to target.
Don't get me started on that guy.
That's going to happen.
But what I'm saying is this. will you see if a 3rd and 7 comes up and the normal Jalen Hurts would scamper for 7-8 yards? Is the normal Jalen Hurts going to play this game, or is he going to be a little bit timid?
He's playing.
I know he's playing. I'm saying, is he playing his normal style of football?
I think if it was a different scenario last week that the Eagles were in front of, they may have played him last week. I think they gave him the extra week. He was practicing.
I think there's more to this that they're leading on. I really do. I really do.
That could also be wishful thinking. It could be.
Yeah, of course, as a Cowboy fan,
they could also just be playing it up and hoping that everybody's saying, "Hey, get your hopes up. Jalen Hurts isn't good," and he comes back and he's very good.
There's something to be said, though.
I'll bet on the latter.
I know, but there's something to be said. A 14-point spread. You're telling me Dayball and company can't get these boys up for that?
There's actually nothing to be said about the 14. That should be what it is.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking to myself, like, all right, so the Giants, they've definitely outkicked their coverage for this year. Nobody expected them to be a playoff team. Nobody expected them to win 6 games, right? All of a sudden, they're a playoff team. You really think they want to get throttled in Week 18 before they go play whoever?
The only thing I'll say about the Giants and what they have going for them in this game is that Golladay needs 79 catches to get a bonus.
79 catches, you're right.
So if they're looking, that's going to be a whole lot of offense.
Take the under, sure obviously, if you're a prop bet guy.
Golladay his season bonus.
79
more catches and he'll get it.
Now they run 79 plays.
I know the Eagles' corners are pretty good, but 79 catches is probably doable.
Definitely.
Right? No, so the Giants they're sitting everybody except Golladay. Come on.
Daniel Jones not going to play? They do got. Listen,
they're gonna.
I love Tyrod Taylor.
They're not even gonna let Isaiah Hodgins play in this one. All right,
Didn't we just talk about our boy Richie James? Is he gonna play? Oh man! All right, go Giants. You won't hear me say that often, but this time it's one of those things. But the Cowboys got to handle business as well.
No, AJ Brown. I would say Miles Sanders. You could really take your pick in the first half. Who's going to light up that defense?
And if they go up big, they might be benched.
But look how good Devontae Smith has been playing down the stretch. I think he should be the one.
Yeah, he's true. He's showing the true form number 2 receiver. Absolutely, 100%. All right, there is a AFC South championship game on Saturday night, and that is between the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, what we've seen out of the Jaguars lately is that Trevor Lawrence is that dude. We've seen him play very, very good football down the stretch. Now he's got a chance to win the AFC South title 1 year removed from that debacle that they had over with Urban Meyer. Like, that was such a bad situation for the Jaguars and stunted this guy's growth. Now you bring in Dougie P. All of a sudden, the offense is clicking down the stretch. All of a sudden, they have a chance to be division champions, which, again, when you were watching this season play out, you looked like the Titans were going to run away with this because the Colts were bad. The Jaguars didn't come on yet. The Texans are about to be the number one overall pick. There might have been a team. Oh, my God.
There was a point where I was saying, you were like, the Jaguars season's done. I said, I don't know. And literally 2 weeks later, they were in first place.
But we were also talking about, like, is Trevor Lawrence that guy? I don't know, man. And all of a sudden,
they answered the bell.
You want to talk about a year? He's about to eclipse 4,000 yards passing for this year, 24 touchdowns, 8 picks. Trevor Lawrence, man, this could be just based off what I saw Dak do in Week 17 on Thursday Night Football, and even Dak threw a couple picks, but one of them wasn't his fault. But what I will say is,
Titans secondary
could be had, bro. Bad. So this might be a Christian Kirk day. This might be another Zay Jones day.
But
Evan Ingram.
I do want to point out the fact that nobody's talking about Derrick Henry and what he's been able to do against the Jaguars in his career.
And this is on full rest.
And it's alarming.
It's a full rest game,
It's actually alarming. It's one of the. I don't know if I've seen a guy dominate another team as much as
even on the road though.
Derrick,
yeah, splits are no different.
Derrick Henry completely destroys the Jaguars defense.
Jaguars defense giving up a $112 on the ground, so they're not, average the entire season. That's not bad.
I think that the point spread's a little high if we're talking in that realm. I do think Derrick Henry's going to do work in this game.
So ready for this?
I think it's going to be a lot better. It's not going to be 6. The Jaguars should win the football game because of the way they've been playing. Conversely, with the Titans have been playing, and their quarterback is a murky mess. But Derrick Henry, just handle the football, and you could win this game.
Tale of 2 defenses, by the way, for the Titans. I'm talking about their run defense and their pass defense. Yeah. Their pass defense is almost giving up 300 a game. Their run defense is only giving up 80.
Elite.
Really good run stuffing defense.
Yeah, elite.
So forget about Travis Etienne this week.
I wouldn't say forget about him because
I wouldn't play. I would leave it alone.
I'm not going to. All right, fair point. Mojo-wise, I'm definitely not going long on him in terms of trying to make money Sunday. But I'm already in on Travis Etienne, so I'm there. But,
for the long play, yeah.
But I will say this, because there's probably a low expectation on Travis Etienne heading into this game, considering the Titans don't give up much, he is always that home run threat. He's not really the guy that's going to going to bleed you for 5 yards a carry. He's going to get his three. He's going to catch the ball out of the backfield, but then he's going to bust one for 60, and that's what he does. So
he's like Tony Pollard.
So even against a good run defense, that's there.
There will be some. There will be some.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's the potential. I like Etienne, especially if they make the playoffs. I think that they'll lean on him a little bit.
Yeah. Should be interesting. All right. Moving on to a very, very big game for my friend over here. It is on Sunday Night Football. We go from Saturday Night Football to Sunday Night Football. It is the Green Bay Packers taking on the Detroit Lions. Now, we talked a lot about Rodgers and the run game yesterday as far as day trading guys that are going to perform in this week in particular. What we didn't say in that game is that, by the way, the Lions have had themselves a hell of a season on offense. They've played very, very good football on offense. Jamal Williams averages almost a touchdown per game at this point. They played 16. He's got 15 touchdowns, so that's pretty incredible. The rush defense for the Green Bay Packers has given up 141 a game, and while they've definitely played better, and probably the analytics don't show it in the overall picture because the last couple of weeks they've played a little bit better. This could be a Swift and Jamal Williams feast. And when it's cold and it's Sunday night and things can't get going through the air, you got to rely on the run game. Now, take the fan hood aside. Do you think the Lions can be successful on the ground Sunday night?
I do. I think it would be absurd for me to say that there's not some openings there to be had against the Packers defense because of the way they've played. Now, I think that there is less openings than there has been, and the Packers, really what their defense has been turned around with the turnovers. They've created turnovers over the last month of football that wasn't there going into the last month of football. So I think that's the big difference, and when you start to develop a lead in some of these games, which they have, instead of playing from behind, it makes it a little bit easier because the defense, they're not getting run on as much anymore because they have a lead. So that goes with hand in hand. Let's just talk about the game in itself. Jared Goff in cold weather, he hasn't been successful in his career. So you could look at that.
Numbers.
I'm thinking if the Lions are going to have any success whatsoever, based on Jared Goff's inability to play in cold weather and their running game has had success, I think those are the two guys that I'm leaning towards. The way Jair is playing right now, I would say you could maybe get rid of Amon-Ra St. Brown from your mind. He probably going to get shut down a little bit. I think so because of the cold weather. Jared Goff struggles in the cold. They're going to probably lean in on DeAndre Swift. He looks like he's a little bit more healthy than he's been in the last 2 years.
He's looking a little bit more. I almost said Swifty.
I'll say another thing that the Lions have bringing to the table is since the T.J. Hockenson trade, their tight ends have been blowing up, 2 of them. So those guys are largely unknown, but they've been lighting people up. So you got to be careful, and Jared Goff likes throwing to his tight end. So I think you could potentially make money going long on either, I think it's Sturchio.
Oh, you're talking about the Lions?
The 2 Lions tight ends. Okay. I know that they set a record, or a Lions record. They've had 12 touchdowns out of their tight end position this year.
Jesus,
That's
really?
after getting rid of Hockenson. So there's potential there. Now, flipping to the other side. The Lions' defense is bad. As bad as the Packers' defense has been, and as bad as the Packers' run defense has been, I would say at this point in the season, the Lions' run defense is a lot worse. A lot worse. They average teams average 5.3 yards per rush against the Lions on the entire season. Out of the shotgun, teams average 6.7 yards per carry. The Packers run a lot of their run plays out of the shotgun. I think you're going to look at Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon all night long.
Just to piggyback off your tight end comment before for the Lions, it's Shane Zylstra has 4 touchdown catches, and Brock Wright has 4 touchdown catches. So they're actually tied for second on the team in touchdown catches. So the leader is Amon-Ra St. Brown. We all know about the star he's become.
I guarantee you that their share prices are extremely low.
Oh, my God,
they're both probably been doing really well on the market.
Between the 2 of them for the year, they only have 37 targets. So it's like, it's time. Like, if you're going to make that short day trade, we probably could have included them yesterday in that conversation.
Outside of giving them to a division rival,
now remember the last time
Hockenson trade make more sense, and I got that from my boy Hawaii Mike.
Yeah, so last time you would think this game, they 15-9. So it's not like, there was no doors blown off everybody. Rodgers made a lot of mistakes. I don't foresee those mistakes happening again. Look, if you're asking me, I think the Packers roll, but that's just,
I think Detroit shows up. They probably cover the spread. We're not having that conversation, but they cover a lot of backdoor covers for Detroit. But here's what I'll say. The Packers don't lose 2 straight to Detroit. They just don't. I'm not buying it. I don't think the Packers have lost 2 in a row or 2 games in the season to the Lions in my entire life. Maybe in the Barry Sanders era.
Scott Mitchell,
maybe
back to pass lefty.
I doubt it.
Rodney
honestly.
Pete.
There was a point where the Packers were like 24-1 in their last 25 against the Lions.
Listen, the Lions haven't won a playoff game since '91.
I'm not buying it. And there's also a chance that come game time, if Seattle wins theirs, this game doesn't matter for Detroit.
That's a very big thing to keep your eye on, the Seattle game, because if Seattle loses, if Seattle wins, the Lions are eliminated.
That's almost scary too, though, because when you face
then you got the whole nothing to play for thing.
When you face a team that's got nothing to play for and it's
dangerous.
4th and 4 in your own territory, they're probably going for it. So you have to deal with an element of danger in those types of games.
But that kind of game can get away from them so fast.
Oh yeah,
like you go for it, it's like. It looks like Campbell's going to leave the offense on the field, 4th and 2 from their own 18. And it's just like, what are you doing?
Sometimes when the way football games go in certain cold weather games, 4th and 4 might be 4th and 30.
Feels like
it just feels like
if it's 3rd and 30, you can just throw it to T.Y. Hilton.
Oh, give me a break. That's Dave's 5th Cowboy reference.
If I can't talk about the Cowboys throughout the course of the game, I'm going to reference it.
I'm trying to see if we have
a Cowboy counter
on our
No,
list.
we do not have the Cowboys on our rundown. In fact, we'll conclude our coverage for Week 18 with a very, very big game between the Bengals and the Ravens. Now, look, the NFL has not come down with all the final decisions yet, but all signs are pointing to the Bengals kind of won the North already. Like, there's no way that this could actually change even with a Ravens win. So if the Ravens win, from what I've heard and read, this could be inaccurate to a fault because there's like 15 reports out there. If the Ravens win, there will be a coin flip for home field. So if the Bengals win, it's just outright Bengals are the division champions. I think they beat them twice. So like that's already like a foregone conclusion. If the Ravens win, there will be a coin toss if these two teams meet in the first round. There's a lot to digest. So why don't we just talk about this one in particular, the one that's on the schedule, the one that's officially in Baltimore. The Ravens absolutely have to have it. They're in the playoffs regardless. Lamar Jackson, very up and down week as far as like the people are like, is he coming back? Is he not coming back? Then John Harbaugh was asked about the playoffs, and he's like, I don't want to talk about that. I'm like, could we be living in a world where Jackson just is out for the year without being out for the year? That's insane to me.
I think we could be living in that
on a
world.
contract where he bet on himself.
I also think he's playing Sunday.
Huh?
I also think he's playing Sunday.
I don't know about that, man. It's just like, from everything I've read.
Well, nobody knows, but there's no reason why Harbaugh has to say anything.
No, I know, but I'm just, it's interesting.
We could be in that world, but my guess is that he's going to suit up and go. Maybe not, though, because of the element of, are we really going to trot him out there just to potentially get a coin flip for a home game, even if we win? I don't know if it makes any sense. The Ravens are all but in. They did clinch, correct?
Yes.
So I don't know how the seedings play out. Could they lose a seeding? Maybe. But I don't know. Maybe they do hold Lamar out. If that's the case, then you could say goodbye to any Ravens offensive player. And realistically, I think you could do that anyway. The Bengals are going to be bringing it in this game. I know there's an emotional situation that they're coming off of. I guess we see how T. Higgins responds. Do we see T. Higgins?
Listen, as far as T. Higgins goes with all the emotions, the high emotions that went into this week and all the craziness. And by the way, again, shout out to Hamlin, who has made a lot of progress from everything we've read. So continued prayers and thoughts over there. Did you hear about him asking about who won the game?
Yeah.
What a warrior.
Just the whole thing.
Just a warrior.
Aside from what he's asking, the great sign here is neurologically intact.
Right.
The words that I read. So
those are the ones that are just like, for him to ask who won the game means he's there. You know what I mean? So continued prayers to him. From what we see, there is a new report adding wrinkles to the situation with Lamar Jackson. So we'll see. Rappaport already came out and said he should be ready for the playoffs, but Harbaugh, on the other hand, the coach of the team, said, hold on. So as far as this game's concerned, other guys you might want to consider, I tell you what, based off the injury, it was hard to invest in him all year long. But J.K. Dobbins is still that guy, I think. And I think that, the Bengals, just their run defense is pretty stout. And same thing with the Ravens. So both run defenses are rather good. So maybe we miss out on or miss with the running back situation at all. Joe Cool, I mean, that's the go.
I think
given
Joe
you already
Burrow,
have
I'm
your,
already in on Burrow.
You already
I'm
have
already
him.
in on Chase, but T. Higgins, I think, has been my guy that I've been touting all season long. I'm not gonna stop doing that. I think he's gonna eat the Ravens alive. The secondary. He's playing down the stretch. You even look at his numbers. He's been out playing Jamar Chase. Maybe he they roll coverage a little bit more T. Higgins way.
I know Chase obviously missed some time, but they're only 6 receptions apart. It's crazy. Again, I know that Chase was hurt for a little while, so that definitely makes a thing. Any final thoughts about Devin Duvernay? It's like,
he's hurt.
I'm just saying, like, we were so high on him going in.
I still am.
And he still is a Swiss Army knife type guy. But
yeah, my thoughts on Devin Duvernay. I hope he's a Packer soon. I love him. He's my guy.
Well, that remains to be seen. But what you will find out in Week 18
Dixon
is fun. The guy's a stud. Who would have thought 1 year turnaround with that special teams? Like, well, that was your biggest woe.
How about one day?
It really was.
They cut Amari Rodgers, and then all of a sudden they have the best return man in football.
They also have the best special teams coach in football, too. I love that guy. But anyway, that'll do it. Week 18 is here. It is the final week of the regular season, which, again, is just... I remember saying, like, week 4, and I'm like, oh, it's going too quick. Like, we're done, guys. Like, it is playoff time next week. So, obviously, we're going to dive into all the playoff...
Feels good to join the party.
Huh?
You know, playoff time.
Yeah, well, playoffs...
I had to wait all year to be here.
Such garbage. But anyway, yeah, we're here.
Careful.
I'm just saying.
Careful.
Anybody want to mess around with a December or January red-hot Aaron Rodgers? No, nobody does. So hopefully the Detroit Lions take care of business. Not rooting for that, obviously.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not. Well, yeah. But like quietly rooting for it.
We're allowed to root for our team's interests. It's fine. I respect it.
Let's go Cowboys. Anyway, with that being said, that's what, the 7th Cowboys reference? I had to squeeze one more in there. Do us a favor. If you want to keep up with everything that we're doing, you have to get on over to the social medias, right? It's 2023. This is what we do here. So TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, at Mojo, M-O-J-O. Join the Discord. That is the everyday conversation happening right now as we speak. As you're listening to this, another guy just posted his portfolio. So that's how much you got to get over there, do a deep dive, find out how people are making money, and that's the way to do it, basically. I know that Mojo came out and said yesterday they're now accepting credit card, debit card payments, so that makes things a lot easier on the app. You got to download the app to get involved in it right now. I know there's risk-free things too, so you can try Mojo. If you don't like it, get rid of it. I've made money, so I love it.
You'll love it.
You don't got to tell me twice. It's like, hey, Dave, how can I make money without doing all these betting on the games thing? Well, I know players, so maybe I can bet on some players, and I have, and I've won. So for Dave Sturchio, Chris Gueci, A5, Behind the Glass, here at Chop Studios, we want to thank you for joining us one more time on the Mojo Market Report. We'll be back with obviously a wrap-up of Week 18 and some concrete playoff matchups to discuss all next week as we gear up for the NFL playoffs. Have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you then.